It is impossible to begin to imagine the horror that accompanied the genocide that all but destroyed Rwanda in the mid-90s. To meet and listen to someone who not only survived, but helped others to survive as well, is a humbling experience. Before 1994, when you were managing a hotel, leading everyday life, you had your wife, your family, did you think you were a humanitarian, or were you just Paul?
I was Paul, but I think I was a little bit different from many other managers, because I always cared for those ones who had no one to care for them. And I remember I used to tell my colleagues that, listen, you are there to give jobs to your relatives, because you are, all of you, on the high-ranking positions. But those ones who do not have anyone to care for them, they are the ones I will always welcome, give them jobs, because they are the only ones who respect me.
Were you taught that? Was that something that you were brought up with? Was that something that you just inherently believed?
You know, in life, there are some values that you don't learn in any school. There are some values that you learn just as time goes on, and you even do not realize that you are a student, that you are learning. You just see yourself in a school, and when you are faced with these very bad or worse situations, then the lessons you have learned in the past come out.
Where did you get your strength?
Was I really that strong? I don't think I was stronger than other Rwandans, but what I believe is that, and this is my conviction, but the majority is not always right. I have learned since I was a young boy to listen to myself. I always call my conscience my own advisor, who will never confuse right to wrong or wrong to right.
What was your conscience telling you when you started letting people come into your hotel and offering them sanctuary from what would be sure death?
This did not start at the hotel. It started right in my house. When I was evacuated from my house on April 9th, 1994, I had 26 foreigners, strangers, who were already in my house, and I had no choice than taking them to the hotel.
The hotel, the Milles Collines, became a refuge for hundreds of people who were fleeing the violence.
Every neighborhood had a list of prime Tutsis to kill. So I wasn't on that list. But then they were grabbing the faces of the people they knew in the neighborhood. They took, I think, about 3 dozens, pretending allegedly, because they were suspected to be infiltrators. The Milles Collines, it was overcrowded because we were crammed into a room where maybe 4 or 5 people in the hotel room. Because as I said, I reached there. I was smuggling into the Milles Collines. I wouldn't pass at the reception because the Milles Collines itself, there was a roadblock at the entrance, manned by the gendarmes.
Rusesabagina had the opportunity to escape, but decided to stay at the hotel.
If I happen to leave these people, because everybody is not going to be evacuated, and these people are killed, I will never be a free man. I'll always be a prisoner of myself. I will never go to bed and sleep, never eat and feel satisfied, never drink and feel satisfied. I will be a prisoner of myself.
As the rooms filled at the hotel, the rest of the country was becoming ever more chaotic. Another survivor told us how traditional places of safety had become increasingly dangerous.
The genocide has been planned for a long, long time. They managed to tell everyone to go to church and stadiums. So killing them was very easy.
As friends turned on friends and families collapsed in the country, Rusesabagina decided to stay on and help as many as he could.
Well, that taught me a new lesson. that each and every one of us hides within themselves a kind of wild animal. A wild animal which is kind of sleeping somewhere, like a shark at the bottom of a sea, but can just come up and break boats or break human lives. I was very much surprised to notice that many of my neighbors were militias, in militia uniforms, in military uniforms, with all the traditional weapons anyone can think of.
So we're talking about machetes,
yes,
AK-47s,
spears, everything. Whatever you can think of. Oh, and guns as well. Yeah.
If you could describe for me how you felt when you knew there's the possibilities that death was at your doorstep, how does that affect you as a human being?
At a given time, I realized that I was the first target. I was supposed to be the first person to be killed, because even militiamen realized that they could not kill the Milles Collines refugees before they kill me. So I was the most targeted person. But what kept me going was the fact that I believed that we will die. But we die one day. When is this day? We do not know, fortunately. So I was telling to myself that listen, before you die, do another small thing. Do whatever you can do right now. And this kept me going until the end of the 3 months of the genocide between April 6th and July 4th, 1994. Otherwise, I knew I was going to die. I had accepted death. But when that was my question mark.
In the years since the genocide, a few people have questioned the role Rusesabagina played, suggesting that the movie version of the time may have, at times, erred on the positive side.
I can't say that it was granted that we're going to survive because Rusesabagina was there. So I can say that there are other parameters that would really people would put into consideration. So the film itself, as I said, it's a good piece of fiction.
Hotel Rwanda is a Hollywood movie. But the good thing with the Hotel Rwanda is that the world knows that genocide occurred in Rwanda, but the reality is not there. They don't know what happened.
But what is known, that in the midst of savagery, the hotel became a haven. Rusesabagina says lives were saved. I read somewhere that you were able to, it's almost as if it was like this game of chess where you were able to talk to some of the leaders, you were able to talk to some of the militia leaders and convince them and bribe them even with alcohol if necessary to stop them from doing what they wanted to do. Tell me about that.
Well, first of all, I would like to say that maybe I did not bribe people. But in Rwanda, we have a tradition. Two men can never sit down and talk without a drink. And a drink is not coffee. It is not a glass of water or no tea or something of that nature. A drink is something strong, alcohol. So in our culture, two men sit talking seriously around a drink. So that was no bribing. Why and now what happened? How was I doing it? I believe, I have come to believe in my life that the best and the worst weapons in our human beings' arsenal are words. With words.
But how do you get to that point? How do you have someone who has a very strong idea and a very targeted goal of wanting to kill? How do you get them to actually sit down, talk to you, and have a drink with you?
Do you know that no one can be completely evil? And no one is completely good. So it is our mission, it is you and I, in each and every one, to go and look for that soft spot in the heart and deal with it, and then get what you want. That time, of course, God intervened, used us human beings, but I believe also that with words, if you go into each and every one, get that best part of each one of us, then you will always come up with a compromise. And I believe in compromises. I believe in dialogue. And this is what I preach.